Section 9.1 is all about understanding personal finance. And these are some financial goals that I think every person should be able to do. First one is learn how to make a budget, determine long-term goals for your money, learn how to research major purchases that may need financing, develop a credit history in a smart, positive manner, know your bank balance by keeping up with all transactions, deposits, withdrawals, checks, debits, credit card payments, etc., and understand how interest works on credit cards and understand how interest works on large purchases such as cars and houses. And some of these things we will be able to accomplish in this class, but without me coming and looking at your personal finances and seeing if you're keeping up with your deposits and withdrawals and so forth, that's kind of unrealistic to expect. So we won't be able to accomplish that in this class, but at least you know that it's important. Learn how to make a budget. We'll start with that. So the first thing we need to do is define budget, just in case you aren't sure what a budget is. But a budget is the amount of money that you are going to spend on different items each month so that you have an idea of how much money you have coming in and what categories of ways you have money going out. And do you have money left over? What will you do with it? And if you don't have money left over, what can you do about that? So to make a budget, the first thing you want to do is calculate your monthly expenses and your periodic expenses, things that don't happen every single month, but you know you're going to have to pay them, such as dental cleanings, eye exams, glasses, things like that. Number two, calculate monthly income and periodic income. So again, monthly income is the money that comes in regularly, usually from your first job, and periodic income could come from other sources like birthday money, or if you have a job that you only do whenever the need arises, or if you give lessons for something, you can't count on the same exact amount of money every month, but you do get income from that. So that would be periodic income. Step 3 in making a budget is to subtract your expenses from your income. And then comes the fun part. Allocate any remaining income to an emergency fund or to savings or to long-term goals that you have. Now, an emergency fund, experts usually recommend that you have 3 times your monthly salary saved up in an account just in case something happens. Some experts even say up to 6 months of your salary should be saved in case you get laid off. That gives you plenty of time to find a new job and so forth. So that's an emergency fund. It also helps if you have surprise expenses, like this hailstorm that we just had a few weeks ago decimated our roof on our house, and we need to replace our roof. Well, we have insurance, but they require that you do the work first before you get the full payment for the insurance. So something like that, it's very helpful for us that we have an emergency fund and we can dip into that when we need to get some extra money, but we'll be able to pay it back once the insurance payments all come through. The savings, that's for things like retirement or birthdays, vacations, things like that. Long-term goals, again, retirement, that's a long-term goal. And if you know you want to go on a trip to Europe and you need to save money because it's very expensive for, say, your whole family to go, then that would be an example of a long-term goal that you would want to save money ahead of time for. Net income is the amount of money that you have left over after your federal, state, and local income taxes are taken out of your paycheck and any other deductions that you agree on for your employer to take out of your weekly or monthly, biweekly paycheck. If we focus a little bit on those federal taxes, we do have a federal tax rate. Let me see, it's a little bit cut off there. A federal tax rate of 15%. That's kind of a low end percentage. So if someone's paying 15% federal tax, their income is in the lower range. Jamie graduated from college in 2013 with a degree in accounting. Her first job pays an annual salary of $52,000. How much should she expect to pay in federal income tax if the federal tax rate is 15%? So really this is just a straight up percent problem, just like we did in chapter 4. So we want to know 15% of $52,000 is what? And that's some dollar amount that we're trying to find. So remember 15%, we want to convert it to a decimal, which would be 0.15. Remember, you can do 15% on your calculator by typing in 15 and then second parenthesis, and that'll give you the percent, and you can see it right on the readout, 15%. It shows that percent sign. And then of, remember, is going to be times, and then we want to multiply by 52,000 and push our equals button. So I have 15% times 52,000 equals, and I get 7,800 in federal taxes. So this one was using the 15% on the calculator, and then we can also do it with the 0.15 times 52,000. And so if I do it that way, it's 0.15 times 52,000, and I get 7,800 for that as well. So either of those two methods, 7,800 is the amount of money that Jamie will spend on taxes in a year.